I look big, but I can crawl into some small spaces.
You're a ninja. You fit everywhere.
As long as I don't have to ninja roll. All the bones will break. Make sure it turns.
Welcome to the state of PA football as PA Football News presents its weekly look at high school football across the state.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in.
Did you know there are 555 total high school football programs in the state? Did you also know there are a total of 58 college programs ranging from D1 to D3 in the state of Pennsylvania? Whether you're a bulldog, a lion, a crusader, an eagle, or a millionaire, we got you covered.
You already know, turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die.
Here at PA Football News, we got you covered. And now, your host, Billy Splay.
All right, everybody, welcome. Here we are, the state of PA football, the state championship breakdown with our special guest, Eric EPLER from PENNLIVE. We're live at Arooga's on the Pike in Mechanicsburg, right? This is Mechanicsburg?
It is.
Or is it Carlisle?
No, it's
Where are we at? We're in Mechanicsburg. All right, that's where we're at. Hey, if you're watching the show live, come on down, pay us a visit. If not, just sit back and enjoy the show because we're going to talk some championship football. I got Ed Weaver here from Circle W Sports. We got Eric EPLER from PENNLIVE, and we got Matt, the traveling man from PA Football News. Guys, here we are, championship weekend. Didn't we just start last week?
Boy, it feels that way. I mean, first week was August 22nd, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
So, last three and a half months or whatever went by really, really fast. So a lot of good football, and obviously didn't really have that bad of a weather schedule, which was great, because that can muddy the water a little bit. But, yeah, last 3 days coming up here at Cumberland Valley. So, I'm psyched.
I know, yeah. Some great games to get here, though, last week. We had a walk-off field goal, McDevitt, to get here. We had a big fourth down stop for Twin Valley to get here.
Yep.
We had a huge fourth down stop for Clairton to get here against Port Allegheny.
Right.
Just some really good football being played all over the state of Pennsylvania. And then we have some interesting storylines. One of them being, Northwestern Lehigh and Southern Lehigh are both playing in state championships, and they're like this close to each other, so that's pretty cool. Northwestern Lehigh's streak has continued. And we've got two teams that played how many years ago?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is the state finals for rematches. So you've got Farrell and Southern that faced off 30 years ago twice. You got Avonworth, Northwestern Lehigh. You got Clareton and BG. Even if you go to 6A, earlier this season, you got LaSalle and PCC in another rematch. And, of course, Roman and McDevitt. The only class that isn't really a rematch is the Southern Lehigh Twin Valley game in 4A. All of the other classes at some level, whether it was 30 years ago or 15 weeks ago, it's a rematch game.
That's an amazing stat. I mean, we've been doing this a long time. I don't remember anything like that.
No, and you feel good too for the District 11 folks because obviously they, in 6A they've had some tremendous football teams, and it always seems like they get to that quarterfinal round, and you got to run into a St. Joe's Prep, or you got to run into a LaSalle College. Easton was that District 11 champ this year, and obviously their season ended right before the big Thanksgiving Day with Phillipsburg. So, so to get two District 11 teams in here, I know the Allentown guys are psyched. They got a chance to be on Keith Groller's show Sunday morning, so they're looking forward to coming down for Northwestern Lehigh and Southern Lehigh. First time for both those teams at 4A, so it'll be an exciting football game there. So, yeah, I'm glad they're able to get a couple squads in. It's always good.
What are some of your memories from the year, guys? Throughout the season, you're up in Wellsboro, so
Yeah.
Your memories Ed are kind of canned. But I'm sure you got to have some good ones from this year. You come.
Oh man. I tell you what, speaking of Wellsboro, it was last week of the regular season rivalry week. We have our rivalry with North Penn Mansfield for the Morton F. Jones Trophy. They beat us the last 3 years, so this is our graduating senior class's first time they beat our rivals in the last in their career. So to go from a 2-8 program last year to above 500, qualifying for postseason play, you run up against top or one of the top seeds in the state, Troy, in 2A. But just for our kids to be able to to turn the program around, like I said, go from a 2-win program to a 6-win program in the course of a year. That's probably my memory from this year.
Yeah, a couple things for me. You at this point you don't have much time to reflect yet.
Yeah.
A few hours, a few days after the championships, but we lost a couple really good coaches, who decided to resign here in the Mid-Penn Conference. Obviously, Penn Live, we're Mid-Penn Conference heavy, District 3 heavy. Colin Gillen from Cedar Cliff after, double-digit years at Cedar Cliff. And Eric Faust at Shippensburg.
And today, I don't know if you saw it today, Wally Hall announced he's leaving North Schuylkill.
Those two guys have been tremendous to us as media members. They've been a tremendous influence on their entire communities. Faust has done more with probably less in some years. This may have been his best coaching season, to be honest with you. And it just to see those guys go, I hope both coach again. I think Colin Gillen will certainly coach again. I'm not sure about Coach Faust, but I hope there's opportunities for them to get back on the sidelines because they're really great for the conference as a whole and really good guys. The other thing is just, today's National Signing Day. So we spent all day. We had a bunch of guys come in for pictures last night in our studio at Penn Live HQ, and we rolled out a whole bunch of little recruiting vignettes and pictures of these guys who are signed. And you, as each one came in last night for photos, you kind of remember like where they started during the season and where they finished. And now, now the only one still playing, obviously, are Bishop McDevitt guys.
Right.
But you see these guys and just the progression that they made throughout the year and how they became, not like they didn't have talent stepping into the season, but just they're so much different now 15, 16 weeks later. So I think that's, for me, is always the fun part of looking back and being a small part of their sort of progression and telling their stories. And we were lucky. We got, 20, 25 guys, coming out to FBS or FCS level. So it's pretty valuable. For me, that's what I like to kind of reflect on late in the season.
Yeah, for me, there hasn't been a lot of time to reflect on the total season yet, but I like to kind of look at the arc of the season. you know, where maybe some teams that weren't on the radar week 1, week 2 are playing games this week, like Twin Valley. You know, I think everybody thought last year was Twin Valley's year, right?
Yeah.
Graduate their quarterback, graduate a couple tough kids.
The
And
running back.
guess who's in the state final now? And oh yeah, you know, great shot to win a state title. That coach has been there before, Brett Myers.
Yep.
So no surprises there. You're like, oh yeah, that's kind of a surprise. Oh well, really it isn't. The guy knows how to win. So I like to look at that arc of the season. I saw like our 6A matchup, PCC and LaSalle out in Pittsburgh the first week, and LaSalle really dominated the game on the line. And that's PCC's calling card, right? They got 5 guys that are 280 and 290. I think it took a little bit for those guys to click. You know, new running back in Roman Thompson and Chris Black, which we saw blow up last week. So I kind of like to look at that arc of the season. You know, how do teams improve over the course of the year? If you look locally, like McDevitt, like how are you kind of come back from losing Stone Saunders, right? Well, I think they did all right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, there were a couple teams like that, Matt. I mean, like you look at like you said, McDevitt. I talked about them earlier today on another show. They came out of a hole, basically. You know,
0-2, yeah.
They didn't look good at all. And ironically, the person I thought that looked the best in their first 2 games was the new quarterback who replaced the guy that passed for 25 miles in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, 13,000 plus. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it. Sebastian Williams has done a great job of leading this team and getting them where they are today. I think like he's one of the reasons. But and then there's some other teams like that you're just sitting there going, okay, Bishop Guilfoyle lost a running back, so we dropped them down in our rankings, and I know you did too. And then you got another team that, you know, you're like, all right, Twin Valley, well, let's wait on them. You know, I don't know, you know, what's going to happen. And then there's another name that out there that's hanging that we were kind of like, Aliquippa.
Yeah.
You know, and look who's, you know, who was playing football last week, Aliquippa, the Quips. You don't give up on them.
Or how about
So-
Southern Columbia, right?
Southern Columbia.
7-5 last season. You're like, okay, that's the end of it. You know, it's reached that end right back.
Yeah,
in
there's a guy sitting out there that told us there at the end, Lindsey. Lindsey Bennett told us. He said, "This is it right here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right back in the state finals with a very good chance to win number 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Unreal.
pretty fun. For myself, I just like I love this stuff. I live for this stuff. And I just like seeing all the different storylines, like Berwick back on top, winning games.
Yeah.
You know, that's a cool story. You know, there were a couple teams in the Wyoming Valley Conference, Riverside, and they did good. But I think one of my favorite things to remember about so far is the battle between Williams Valley, Schuylkill Haven, and Minersville, and that whole coal region there. They just beat the daylights out of each other for little 2A schools. And we both had them in our rankings, ranked high all season long. And so that was a fun battle to watch for me as far as high school football season goes.
That's some good. Go ahead. I'm sorry. That's some good small school football. Like you know what I mean. That Williams Valley team looked invincible at times. They really did. I know there was some, you know, there was a little bit of chaos around the program there for a while. I wasn't quite sure how they were good. I think preseason I might have had them like mid-ranked, somewhere 6 or 7, something like that. And they every couple of weeks just kept climbing the ladder. Schuylkill Haven to me was a surprise dropout. You know, we had them won for a long time, you know, before that loss. So, yeah, it's you know, I always talk about the small school corridors, and obviously 4 is massive. Line Mountain for us was tremendous this season too.
Oh yeah,
they were a little unlucky late that their quarterback was injured. Max Johnson, who was the All-State defensive end last year, did not play most of the season.
No.
Really, I think week 3 or 4 he got hurt. Maybe week 5. I did not return. So, you know, some of those things could have been a little bit different. But, I love District 4 for small school football is phenomenal.
I mean, you look at those teams, how many years can you look back and say they had 2 FBS kids go? I mean, you know, the quarterback from Minersville, he goes down to UCF?
Yeah, Dante Carr.
And then just the other day, Schuylkill Haven announces their running back is going to Minnesota.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just out of these tiny little coal region, boom, 2 Division I football players.
Yeah.
So, That was my memory for the year and how good it was. And then you mentioned coaches, losing coaches. How about, again, Williams Valley's coach is like dismissed or he resigns.
Right.
And then a week later, we hear Matt Grohall over at Wimber, who is also ranked, was asked to step down or step away for a while, and then he eventually did. So I can't remember a season ever where in my rankings, two of the teams that were ranked lost their coaches midseason.
Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow, and especially in the in the middle of the season. I mean, again, teams, kids are kids. Kids are actually going to keep strapping it on and keep obviously playing football. But it is difficult. It seems like every year there's a lot more noise around these programs and a lot more adversity. Let's call it adversity to be, even keel, that these 15, 16, 17-year-old kids have to deal with. It's impressive to see how they do deal with it, because there's enough, heavens knows, we didn't have to deal with much of this stuff. If one parent would, kind of gripe or, it'd be a kind of a swell, the other parents would just go, hey, that's it. Let's cut this off. And it was just like all about the kids. Now they're having to deal with some other things that are a little bit more pressurized. And it's impressive to see what some of these kids do and how they actually persevere and stretch right through it.
And the amount of bees buzzing at their ears
of course,
is bigger than ever. I mean, they got
louder than ever.
Social media and everything. Trying to keep a kid off social media is impossible. But, I don't know how coaches do it today. I just don't.
And let's not forget, a team you cover up.
Yep.
Joe Heaton. Look what he did with his they tried to get rid of the guy over the offseason, and look what he did with his squad this year. Like, what is he doing wrong that you don't want him a part of your program? You know?
When it turns outside of the football, like Joe Heaton is so valuable to that community.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about what he does on the football
field. And by the way, great football coach.
Exactly. He's a pillar in that community. He's a teacher, longtime teacher, educator, who you won't find a coach, and there's hundreds of coaches that fit this bill. And I don't want to just sing out Joe, but you won't find a coach who cares more for his kids and the benefit of their kids than Joe Heaton. And yet, by the opinions or the underhanding sort of back channels things of a couple guys, this whole thing swells, and you have to have the community step up and all this crud that you have to deal with. And he gets back and obviously goes undefeated into the District 3 final. And he's got Twin Valley, who, oh, by the way, is playing for its state title now. 21-20 at halftime before Twin Valley turns it on in the second half.
Yeah.
And just a tremendous historic season for him.
And they try to get rid of him. It always amazes me. We talked about it earlier today. We were talking about some other coaches. Tim Roth was talking to me one day, and he said, how do you get rid of a coach like George Curry? And Berwick did. Like, how do you do – like, it's just – coach, it's so hard to be a high school football coach. And it should be not hard at all. It should be very easy.
Yeah, and let's be honest too. I mean, unless you're teaching in the organization, there's not a single head coach in Pennsylvania who's getting rich off coaching football. No, I mean
this ain't Georgia.
This is not Georgia or Alabama where they're in charge of the entire
where they're making
system
$80,000,
and making six figures
just to coach.
This is love of the game, love of the kids. That's why they do it.
That's it, and that's what they do. So. Anyway, it's been great chatting and shooting the fire with you guys. Let's take a break, get some sponsors in. I want to thank PENNLIVE for loaning us Eric EPLER. Thanks, PENNLIVE. And we're going to come back and we're gonna break it down just like the days that are coming. We're going to do 1 and 4A, then we'll do 2 and 5 and 3 and 6. We'll go just like championship games. So we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Thank you for calling Promises Internet Service. Please remain on the line. Due to high call volume around the world, it's likely you'll be on hold for, well, over an hour.
Get faster speeds for less money than the national companies at CenterWisp in Central Pennsylvania. CenterWisp is your fast local internet provider. For more information, go to centerwisp.com. That's CenterWisp.com. Now with faster speeds.
want to be able to play as hard as you can, as safe as you can.
Whenever I have the safe cap on, it absorbs most of the blow.
You can tell it's a little bit softer. When you get hit, it's just like kind of bounces off instead of reverberates through your helmet.
So when we look at those tests, when we had a safer cover on a football helmet, on average, it reduced accelerations by 11%.
My name is Carlos Bradley. I'm a former NFL player and currently chairman of Safer Sports. What is Safer Sports? We are a soft shell technology company. Our product, the Safer Helmet Cover, has been tested at Virginia Tech Helmet Lab and is proven to reduce the risk of concussion by as much as 77%. So if you have a youth league, a high school or a college, and you want to be safer, get in touch with safersports.com.
The Cobalt Plus headset system delivers proven performance along with more users, more flexibility. That's why coaches across Pennsylvania trust Cobalt Plus. CoachCom makes tough headset systems for tough teams. We build headsets to help teams win. Call or click to learn more about Cobalt Plus from the proven leader in football communications.
For over a decade, Circle W Sports has delivered top-tier athletic websites and helped numerous student athletes get noticed. Now, we're taking things to the next level with Showcase. We've reimagined everything, combining the power of our proven platform into one sleek, all-in-one profile that's customizable, dynamic, and built just for you. No more juggling multiple profiles. No more messy links. Every Showcase tier includes a personalized QR code and short link, making it easier than ever to share your story, anytime, anywhere. Think of it as your own digital scrapbook. Post highlights, add workout clips, upload photos, share your stats, achievements, and more, all in one place. Whether you're chasing scholarships, creating your personal brand with our name, image, and likeness offerings, or you just want to show off your grind, Showcase puts your journey front and center with packages starting at $9.99 per month. It's your game, your story, your future. Get noticed, get recruited, and most importantly, get ahead with Showcase.
Those schools that.
All right, welcome back to Arooga's here
Or
in
not.
Mechanicsburg. Billy, Eric Epler, Matt, Ed Weaver here. We're talking championship football now. We're done talking about what was. Now let's talk about what's going to be. And let's go right into the 1A games, gentlemen. Let's talk BG. Let's talk Clareton. Let's talk. I don't know if the kids that are playing today are old enough to remember what happened back at Hershey Park, but this is the rubber match.
No, I don't think they remember. No, they're all after 1995 was it? 96, whatever. Yeah, 30 years ago. Tremendous matchups. Snow all along the sidelines. Bob McCool actually was with him on the PIAA show yesterday. Was talking about that game and how the head coach for Farrell was the quarterback that day, and now his son is the quarterback for the game coming up. So I'm looking forward to this game. I know it's Clareton has been one of the benchmark programs. They've been on a little bit of a hiatus here, getting back to the final. But yeah, I mean, I like this. I like this offense from Clareton. I know it was the 8-6 game and it was a quarterfinal. Against Port Allegheny, right?
Yeah.
Right, Billy? That's right.
Port Allegheny was a little bit shocking to me that Port Allegheny was able to kind of hold them down because they had been scoring so well. Not quite the Clareton explosive offense like we saw, years back when they were in 800-900s for the season, averaging like 84 a game. It was something ridiculous. But yeah, I like their offense a lot. And Bishop Guilford, though, you got to do a lot right to beat those guys, especially on defense. They're like 11 guys to the ball, and they rarely hurt themselves with penalties and things like that. So I think this could be a pretty fun, very physical game for a single A game.
Yeah, Matt saw Bishop Guilford this year.
Yeah, these two teams over time, they've kind of mirrored each other, right? And then once in a while they run into each other. So you got those 2014, 2016 matchups at Hershey Park that were just especially that 2014 game, 19-18. Clareton's down to the last play down inside the 5. Kid catches the ball and doesn't get the toe tap. Just couldn't get it in there. So, just some unreal matchups between BG and Clareton. And like Wayne Wade said, I mean, for his program, it's state finals or bust, and it's probably the same for BG. I think, what are they, 5-time state champs, 7 or 8 trips to the finals, and Clareton's no different. 4-time state champs, 7 or 8 times to the state finals. So, in this matchup, there's really nothing they don't know about each other. It's just another time that they're running headlong into each other again at the state finals.
Yeah, Bishop Guilfoyle, they're going to come at you. We were kind of concerned about them early in the season when Consiglio, he was going to be their main running back this year. He went down, and they struggled for a week or two. But then Justin Wheeler, he's a good coach. I mean, he's just a good football coach. Moves some parts around. His son is the quarterback, Justin Wheeler, and lo and behold, they found something, and they started scoring some points. But it's their defense that has gotten them this far, I believe, to where they're at right now. Their defense is stout, and they keep everything in front of them, and that's what I think Bishop Guilfoyle does best, is plays defense and keeps the score low enough that they can stay with them.
Yeah, and if you look at Clareton, I think Clareton has 10 shutouts on the season, and Bishop Guilfoyle might have 6, something like that, 6, 7. So, but me personally, I love both offenses, too. So it's like, is this a game that's kind of like first one to 20 wins, first one to 17 wins? I'm not sure. Maybe it turns into a shootout because they both obviously run the ball extremely well. I mean, Clarence's got Jeff Thompson, their quarterback's been very, very good this year. He's a terrific kind of pilot, getting the ball to the weapons for Clareton. There's a lot of them. So, but you're right about Bishop Guilfoyle. You have to be very disciplined against that defense, and you can't really sort of bounce out. The edge shuts down quicker.
You're not going to get the outside on them. You're going to have to play football.
You would think though, because Guilfoyle has a little bit of size, and it's going to be tough to run the ball. But running outside is no picnic either against these guys. They close really, really fast.
They do.
So I don't know. I think I expect something like that 21-20 in that sort of corridor for this, and maybe I'm too high. I don't know.
You might be too high. It might be 13-10.
Yeah, could be.
I mean, it might be 12-10 because those teams out in the Whitfield, I don't know, for whatever reason, they don't like to kick those 2-point convert. They don't like to kick those extra points.
No.
So I don't know what Clareton has there, but it's hard to say because Clareton really hasn't had. They didn't need an extra point this year like some of the other teams that we saw that needed extra points. They've just been scoring gobs and gobs of points.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like a good Clareton team always does that.
Yeah, and they do. They just it's constant pressure from both of these teams too. It's you said. I mean, it's so difficult driving the ball against either one of these teams. I mean, you expect. Guilfoyle I know has been really good at sort of driving the football. Clarence a little bit more big play offense, but I don't see either team doing 10, 12 play series against the other defense. I just don't.
Yeah, another thing to look at is when you look at their rosters tomorrow, look at the roster size. Clareton's only got like 21 kids, 22 kids. Bishop Guilfoyle's got about 40. So rosters play different. So those kids, people will say, oh, why doesn't Clareton put their B team in? They did. They started.
Right. Right.
They've been in the game the whole time. So that's one of the things that happens there, and I'm looking forward to this game. Coach Wade is one of my favorite coaches. We had him on a show a couple weeks ago. One of my favorite coaches to talk to. There's a lot out there, and Justin Wheeler does his thing, and he's a good guy to talk to as well. And I mean, the guy played on a very good Penn State football team. He knows how to play football, and he obviously knows how to coach football. One of the things that stands out to me is how Bishop Guilfoyle, they use Mansion Park. That's their home field. And I'd like to see teams like Bishop Guilfoyle have their own team to start, or their own field to start building memories on. So maybe we can get you donors to start helping them out here. They could use a field of their own. Yeah.
You got to hit up Sheets, right?
Yeah.
you know,
right behind Sheets.
the world headquarters of Sheets is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Build the field right behind Sheets. Makes it easy on us. We could just leave the game and go to Sheets.
Absolutely. That'd be perfect. Perfect scenario.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah, it would. So that's the 1A breakdown. Bishop Guilfoyle taking on Clareton in a rematch from a long time ago, the rubber match. I don't know. Anybody want to make a prediction here? Or
Well, it's just going to be tight.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be tight. It's just a question of how many, if we're 21-20, like you said, 13-10. It's just, I don't know. The consensus seems to be that this is going to be a very low-scoring game. But the weather should be pretty good, actually. I
think
on Thursday afternoon. So.
I think both teams, let's go this way. I think we might see a nice crowd that day, too.
I would hope so. I hope you see a great crowd for every game.
I do.
Because,
I think
attendance
Clareton's going to travel.
It's been falling, the last couple of years. Obviously, I think you get a spike. Northwestern Lehigh, we know are going to bring people.
Oh, yeah.
We know Southern Columbia is going to bring the town.
Yes.
And then some. So
McDevitt should have a house.
McDevitt should have a great house. So
Yep.
it would be nice to get, a nice tennis
And
summit for all.
believe it or
all
not,
3 days.
I think LaSalle is going to travel. If you saw their game clips last
Yeah.
week, they had a massive crowd.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
Massive crowd, and they do every week. They have huge crowds, and it's pretty cool to see. Avonworth travels okay. They're not big, so I think we're gonna have some crowds. But so Bishop Guilfoyle and Clareton. Let's move on to 4A. The 4A game is a banger, Matt. Twin Valley taking on Southern Lehigh.
Yeah, it's a great public school matchup in 4A. Two teams that have never been there before, each for each of their schools. And this is something kind of rare this year. Like Twin Valley's undefeated. There's only 3 undefeated teams at the state finals this year, and that's very rare. Usually you'll see, there's some super dominant teams coming into the state finals, but Twin Valley, 1 of 3. And, of course, in 3A, those 2 teams are playing each other. So we're only going to have maybe 1 or 2 undefeated teams at the end of the state finals. But, yeah, this is a great matchup. These 2 teams are very similar. For Southern Lehigh, it's about their quarterback, Colton Sams, and more about their running back, Sean Steckert. So very rare that you have the all-time passing leader for Southern Lehigh on the team, and you have the all-time rushing leader on the team as well. So enough footballs to go around for Coach Phil Sams. Not always easy to do when you got 2 athletes like that on your team. And for Twin Valley, it's exactly what we talked about earlier in the show. Fundamentals from Coach Brett Myers, a nice run game from Drew Angle and Lucas Myers, and we'll see what happens when these 2 teams get together here.
Put on a little package, some highlights.
Yeah, we got it going on here.
Listen, I agree with Matt said. This is, we talked about Southern Lehigh a little bit in the opener when we were chit-chatting, and, a great effort by them. And what I like is that both of these teams, even though Southern Lehigh has a loss, they sort of didn't really have to weather many storms until district finals, really. And then all of a sudden you get both teams finding ways, not deviating much from scheme, but just finding that next level to get to this point. Twin Valley had to do it against Susquehanna Township in the District 3 final, and then they had to do it when Aliquippa charged all the way back from 28-6 down to threaten to take that game Friday night against in Lewistown at Mifflin County's posh, by the way, posh. New football field. It's spectacular. Whoever built it, whatever.
The view is
The view is awesome. It's got that Ivy League feel.
Yep.
I would compare it to, Matt, I want to ask, what do you think? Why I'm missing Mifflin County? They kind of have a similar feel to them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the Mifflin County, the way they built that, somebody definitely planned ahead very well.
Yeah.
There's actually 2 stadiums there,
Yes.
which is unreal. They built a football stadium and didn't have enough land to build a track. So they were like, oh, well, let's just build another stadium with a track around it. It's beautiful. I was talking to actually the security guard for about an hour I had to kill before the game. And he's like, here's what happened. Here's what went into it. Like, a lot of really good planning, and I hope they're able to use that place often, outside of their districts.
Yeah, well, they were terrific hosts. I can tell you that much, and just spot people there for sure. But it's a tremendous place to watch a football game. But they had to really scratch and claw and obviously make a last-second play. Keenan Mumm was the guy, the cornerback, made a great play, pass breakup on 4th down to stop Aliquippa's right all the way back in that football game. Southern Lehigh had to do the same thing against Cardinal O'Hara.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're sitting there with a big lead. Next thing you know, you're down in the waning seconds of that football game. So
we were this close to seeing Cardinal O'Hara in this game.
Yeah, they were that close.
Yeah. They were that
Aliquippa
close.
was that close.
And
Aliquippa
was that close.
For these two teams to kind of, to get all this way where you basically things went very smooth for Brett Myers and Twin Valley.
Until
we thought there was going to be a great game against Wyomissing in the regular season. Didn't happen. They smoked them pretty good. Smoked Lampers and Stroudsburg pretty good in the regular season.
Yeah. Yeah, I drove all the way to Wyomissing just to watch that game.
And Wyomissing's no slouch. Don't get me
wrong. The rain, it just didn't happen.
Yeah. No, and they would have had a chance to play Twin Valley again in the district final, but Torrin Evans at Susquehanna Township, the quarterback, did a carnival run to get by time and scored on the last second.
Yeah, how many we saw that twice that very weekend. I ran them side by side.
Yeah,
Matt got to see you the same exact play by Aliquippa.
Yep.
How ironic is that Susquehanna Township does that, and then Aliquippa does it, and then we have Twin Valley and Aliquippa.
That's how razor thin it was. But this Twin Valley team just really, I believe the pace that they run their offense, obviously two gifted running backs, Drew Engel and Lucas Myers, obviously the head coach's son.
I wrote today, Drew Engel is bread and butter.
And Maverick Foster's a very good general outside. They haven't really needed to throw that much, so he hasn't thrown that much, but they can throw if needed. But it's just the pace that they run. I believe they try to run a play every, 10 seconds, something like that, maybe a little less.
They run it pretty quick, not quite as fast as Roman.
And they just plow you up front. These guys use their leverage up front. They're tremendous. And defense is the same way, just in a different side of the scrimmage.
Right.
So I would put them as the favorite against Southern Lehigh, and I'm a big Southern Lehigh fan as well. When you have a guy with 2,900 rushing yards and 41 touchdowns, you don't dismiss that team.
He's like the main meal.
Well, it's a ridiculous number.
And then the running back behind him is pretty much the bread, butter, and crumbs of the meal. They're a good 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
But I think they do it very well.
But I do think they're fairly even defensively. So this should be a fabulous football game.
I think so.
For it a lot.
I'm excited to watch it. But the thing that stands out to me about this game is Coach Brett Myers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he started out down in Pottstown, does a great job at Pottstown. Then he comes to Middletown.
Yep.
And it must be something about the Raiders' name.
Maybe, yeah.
It could be.
Blue Raiders,
maybe
Raiders.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
The Raiders or Blue Raiders, it doesn't matter. But did a great job. He's a program builder. I think it was either you or somebody at PennLive wrote about that a while ago. How 2 years ago it was an article about how wherever he goes, he doesn't just coach, he builds a program. And he's done it so far. He's done a great job. I mean, they started off 6-5 their first year, his first year there. Then he was 7-3.
Yep.
Then he hit the 10 win. Then 9-3, and now he's undefeated.
Yeah, and Elverson, PA, not exactly a hotbed for football, right? And especially like when I look at Twin Valley in that area, I'm like, maybe they'd be really good in 2A, 3A. But that's a 4A school, and that's not easy because you're starting to step into big boy territory at that point, So, like you said, Billy, tremendous job building that program. The community's definitely bought in. Like the fan support was great.
You look at the teams that are playing here. They're not just football teams. All 12. They're LaSalle has a great football. They have a great program and a great community. They have good community support.
Yep.
At LaSalle, Central Catholic has good support. They're going to travel. They'll bring people. They'll travel. They have good support. You go down to 5A, McDevitt. How many times have we seen packed houses at McDevitt?
Yeah.
They have a good support system. I don't know so much about Roman, but
Not
Rick
so much.
but he's built a program.
Oh yeah,
That's what we're
the
getting
thing.
at.
That's the thing.
Their
It goes,
programs.
It goes back to what you and I talked about a few weeks ago. Especially in Philadelphia too, where there's a lot of talent, tremendous amount of talent, and if you get the right coach, the coach who kind of brings in and not
Belmont Charter.
Belmont Charter is a perfect example. Yeah. Roman Catholic is a perfect example. Rick Preet's only been there since 2019, and we were lucky enough to have him. We'll get to Roman in a little bit, but just somebody stepping in and bringing 3 or 4 guys who have been there, done that, maybe played top college ball, maybe even pro ball, but they're relatable to the kids. It means the world to these guys to be coached by just not only competent coaches, but actually coaches who care, coaches who pick the kids up if they need a ride, all those kind of things. And when you get a coach, and I know it's more suburban when we're talking about Southern and Twin Valley, these 2 coaches are like that. They're exactly like that because they have kids who play too. Brett Myers has 2 sons that came through the system. Luke is obviously still playing now. So I just think it's sometimes coaches are yelled at. Coaches are, get bad press. Sometimes coaches get, evil emails from parents. I'm sure pretty much 24/7 these days. But that position matters. It really does matter. And I think these 2 coaches here at Southern and Twin Valley are a testament to that.
Yeah. It's just their programs, and Claret is a program.
Yep. Wade's been around long.
Bishop Guilfoyle is a program.
Yep.
They didn't.
All of Guilfoyle's success has been through Justin Wheeler.
Southern,
all of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Southern Columbia all of their success has been with Jim Roth.
Right.
All of it.
Literally all of it.
Literally all of it.
Yeah.
Literally everything they've done.
Yep.
All these teams that are playing this week are programs. Alec, even like going back to last week, Aliquippa is a program. Mike Warfield did a great job. Programs, and that's what's playing this weekend, and that's what stands out about Twin Valley is how Coach Myers has built a program. I mean, Coach Sam's, he's done a fantastic job too.
Absolutely.
And we had this conversation the other night. Like, can you imagine what it's like for both of these coaches? Like at night, like they're sitting there and their son's the quarterback, and you're like, so anyway, let's talk about this play. All night long, every day.
Right.
This week has to be brutal in that household.
Well, I actually asked Brett Myers. I said, "Is it tougher coaching your son the quarterback or your son the running back?" He said, it's the same. It's just terrible." But he used to bounce more things off of Evan, who came through the system and is now playing at Kutztown, actually.
Yeah.
Than Lucas. But some of the times these guys give up size too. But they, make no mistake, they're football players on both sides. Southern I has a bunch of those guys too. They are football players. Yeah.
Yeah. What a great game that's going to be. It is. I'm excited for that game too. I'm excited for every game this weekend. Last year was a banger lineup, and this year is a lineup too. So that's 4A and 1A. We got them broke down. This don't take long. There's only 2.
That's right.
We only have a few more teams to talk about. Actually, we talked about 4 of them. We got 8 more to go. So we're going to take a quick break, hear from a sponsor or 2, and we'll be right back. We'll break down 2A and 5A right after these messages.
C3 Sports and Events Center is located in the heart of Happy Valley. C3 Sports has the space you need for your next sporting, community, or professional event. We recognize that our community would benefit from a large, adaptable event venue that could host just about anything. So, if you have an event, we have the space for you. We are C3 Sports and Events Center in State College, Pennsylvania.
PAFootballnews.com and CWTAP. Tap into the state. PAFootballnews.com and CWTAP presents their weekly highlight show, bringing you, the viewers and fans, the best of the weekend's high school and college football action and interviews from all over the state of Pennsylvania. And introducing The View from the Sidelines, where you, the fans, can send in clips of your favorite team or athletes. Simply email your links or clips to Billy@PAFootballNews.com with the subject line, The View, by Sunday morning, and we'll try and present them on the program. PAFootballNews.com and CWTAP Tap Into the State. Our weekly highlight show every Tuesday at 9 on CWTAP and the next morning streaming on PFN. We got you covered.
And he's in the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown.
Juggled and caught. Committed, yeah. He's signing next week. We're back. We're talking about commitments today. Today was the beginning, not the signing day. Today was the beginning. Now it's 3 days long. So a lot of kids out there signed with their teams that they committed to. Congratulations to all those kids out there who have signed, because in today's world, it's more brutal than ever to even get that contract to come to you to sign with the portal and it's just the pressure on these kids to get to the college level has tripled in the last 2 years. I mean, with NIL involved, and now you got to hire a lawyer before you even go to college, to make sure you get your piece of the pie. And maybe the team you're committed to fires their head coach mid-season, and you don't have a coach, and now you
That's a lot to do, man. A lot of
do.
moving parts.
But hey, I know there's about 3 guys out there that are going to be legends at Penn State anyway who signed contracts today.
Yep.
But again, congrats to all you guys out there. And if a girl did somewhere, whatever, congratulations to those who signed your letters of intent today and are moving on. Just try to stay loyal, because I know in January you can pull out of that and go somewhere else if you want to.
This time your commitment is not a literal term.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
It's
that's a different show.
It just kind of
a whole different week.
Yeah.
yeah.
We can do that. But anyway, coming up on Friday, we talked about Thursday's game. Coming up on Friday at 1:00.
Guess who's back?
They're back.
Back again.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly.
It's like Mary the Shark coming back to the inlet.
Yeah, that's right. Queen Mary just pinged.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Well, the only difference is this is King Southern Columbia football, and they're taking on Farrell, a team that I'm gonna let you guys talk about. A team that they faced years ago, and a coach that they faced years ago. A lot of familiar faces on the field, and just to make sure, if you're watching, this game is at Cumberland Valley High School. Okay, that's where the game's being played.
Oh yes.
All right.
Small
Cumberland Valley
staff.
High School.
Small
The last
staff.
time it was over at Hershey Park.
Right.
This time it's at Cumberland Valley High School. So Ed, Southern Columbia, Ed.
Yeah, I mean, return to form. We were talking earlier. Matt, you said 7-5. Last year.
Yeah.
They ended up getting beat by Troy in semifinal round of the district playoffs, and then to start a season off with a loss to Wyomissing, and run off 14, unanswered 14 straight wins. I mean, just.
Yep.
You mentioned last segment talking about programs. I mean, Southern Columbia and Jim Roth is the epitome, of a program.
He's basically had the same assistants for his entire tenure.
Andy Mills, I mean, just they're phenomenal. I mean, just unreal. I mean, I was, looking at some stuff here, during the break. 11 straight years a District 4 team has been in the 2A final. I mean, just unreal, talk about small school football. So
now you're being a homer, though, because
I know.
District
I'm
4,
sorry.
It's basically Southern Columbia.
Yeah.
And
District
Troy
Southern
filled
Columbia.
in for a year.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, Yeah, but you and I do rankings, and we thought Troy would be in this situation.
We did.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
did.
so
Yeah.
let's give him even more
Eric
praise.
and I talk every
Yeah.
week, every
Yeah.
every
I mean,
Saturday.
it was
usually.
we
We're
were
like, what are you gonna
strong.
do here? And we were like, "There's no way Southern Columbia is going to be in this
Heavy
game."
on Troy,
No.
and that
Hey.
one turned out ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay was at the game. Lindsay
Yeah.
out there, he was at that game.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
Well, and on the show that I started this this fall here, Circle W Sports Showcase Spotlight, the beginning of the district playoffs, I had a chance to interview Coach Roth, and great, doesn't owe anybody anything, was the nicest guy in the world to come on and talk, about football with me for, 15, 20 minutes. But the one interview that I was impressed the most by, we also had Grady Garcia on, and talk about, a kid that has seen some football with his 3 older brothers. I mean, being the young pup in that, out of that.
here's a quick pop quiz. Who's the oldest brother? What's his name?
Gage.
Gage. That's it.
Gage, Gavin, Garrett.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was telling me when I was talking to him, they had a picture, blown up of Troy holding up the state championship last year. They had it in their weight room during the off-season workouts, and right as acclamation started, they put it right on the exit on the back side of the locker room door heading out to the field. So everybody saw that, and everybody's seen that the last 17 weeks here. So I think they got a little redemption, coming into Friday.
I can't remember too. I know it's happened. I remember writing about it. I can't remember the squad who had 3,000-yard rushers on their squad, and obviously Southern Columbia was close.
Yeah.
Hockenbrock is over. I know Garcia, you mentioned, is over.
Yeah.
And I believe
Andrews.
Andrews is close.
Andrews is close.
Maybe 100
Yeah,
yards,
something like that.
To me, that's a ridiculous situation. Like
It's
that.
insane.
That to me doesn't compute. Like I don't. I mean, I understand that some games are blowouts and maybe get more yards here and there, but to have 3 1,000-yard rushers potentially at the end of the
The
season,
only other team I can think of that did that was
it's unreal.
Haven.
Yeah.
That may have been them. I know it's happened, but it's
It
just
was last year.
it's just a freaky stat to me because I know how difficult some of these games are, and there's some games where top talent gets 48 rushing yards or 52 rushing yards or whatever, or your top quarterbacks throw for 112, and then just over a course of 13, 14 weeks to get 1,000 yards is ridiculous to me. But I know that's obviously their bread and butter. Southern doesn't like to deviate from that. But a lot of the things, a lot of the components that I sort of praised Twin Valley and Southern Lehigh for, I think Southern Columbia does so well.
They're the epitome.
You know what I mean? Hats to the ball. Don't
Well-
kill themselves with penalties. Just, disciplined kind of football. And you do that over 48 minutes. I don't care how explosive the other team is. It's hard to defeat that.
And to be honest, we had him on. We had Coach Roth and a bunch of the guys on our show earlier this year too. And one of the things they mentioned, and it was the week of the Bloomsburg game.
Yeah.
It was the week before the Bloomsburg game. We talked to them, and they said, and Coach Roth said, we need to be more disciplined on the field.
Mm-hmm.
He said we haven't been very disciplined on the field. And from what I understood, they had a very long halftime meeting the week before, and then they went to Bloomsburg, and the old Southern Columbia showed up, and they haven't left.
No.
Yeah. Hey, chew on this for a second. This is Southern's 23rd trip to the state finals in 32 seasons.
Yeah. That's unreal.
Like, how does that happen? And just to put this out there, win or lose, Southern will not be moved up to 3A next year. So they got no state points last year.
They were close to falling down to 1A
by enrollment.
This next.
So let's
cycle
just nip that in the bud right now.
Yeah.
They will be a 2A school next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there will be no Montour Votech loophole. It doesn't exist. I'm gonna say it on the show. We put an article about it, and I'm gonna explain this as easily as I can. Or do you want to do it, Matt?
No, you're good. I said my piece.
Columbia Montour Votech is here. If kids want to go here, they can go here. They have their own school. You do not go there a half a day. You go there for the entire day. So basically, it's like college. You leave your high school and you go to Votech. That's it. It counts towards nothing. If you play football, you play football for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
There's no hiding. And I'm going to say this one more time. You cannot hide people. Like, because if that's the case, then Bloomsburg, Berwick, Lewisburg, Danville, all those schools, Shichinny, they're all hiding people at Columbia and one quarterback.
Yeah,
Votech
right.
for some reason. I don't know why, why you would do that. But I want to say one more thing about this, and then we'll move on. This conversation would have to happen with like 50 kids and their parents. Hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm with the Southern Columbia School District. Your son enters 8th grade this year. We're going to need him to move to Votech. Yeah, I understand he wants to go to college, but he's a welder now. So, yeah, Jim Roth. Yeah, he wants it. Do people realize how dumb that is? Like, that conversation does not happen, will never happen. It just, I mean, come on, wake up. Farrell, on the other hand.
Should we talk about Jules Johnson? Is that appropriate?
Let's. Hey, you know what? We could talk about one of the.
Just ran for 240 and 3 TDs.
Yeah.
Semifinal round.
He's really good.
Yeah,
He's all right.
It's been really, really good for them. And
He's going to sign next week.
yeah, he's not the only weapon that Farrell has. I like this Farrell offense a lot.
They're very good.
They're quick hitting, home run hit guys all over the field for them. It's always hard in this situation to get Southern Columbia because they've been here so long. Roth seems to have a formula to wave his wand.
But he doesn't have a formula against Farrell.
This is a little different animal showing up
Mm.
with Farrell too, and they've been housing cats. Johnson's been unbelievable all season long. So yeah, we had to talk.
I saw Johnson against Carson City. I saw him get an interception. Saw him run a kickback, and I saw him run a long touchdown and catch passes. And
Yeah.
the kid goes up in the air and catches passes.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes up high and catches passes. Dorian Kane is another one. Dorian Kane, the night I saw them, had 3 interceptions. So defensively, this is a solid Farrell football team.
Yeah.
But Pegues, I know Matt's been tough on Pegues all year long. But the game I saw him, he was solid. He's a solid quarterback. He was accurate. He was nailing it. He never panicked one time. And he led this team. Pegues did. And, of course, the cat's been out of the bag for a couple days now. His father beat Southern Columbia in the state championship. His father was the quarterback for Farrell when they beat Southern Columbia.
Yeah,
so that's
I'm so excited.
How dare you?
I think everybody's mentioned it since Saturday. We brought that out, and it's a pretty cool thing. So maybe Jim Roth is sitting home going, "I'm going to beat a Pegues."
Yeah.
But great football team, great talent, special team wise. Farrell is as good as anybody. They just, they fly down the field. Defensively, they do not get lost in the action. What I mean is they know where the ball's going, and they're already there waiting for the ball. Offensively, once again, Kane can go up and get the ball. I never saw 2 kids jump higher for catches than I did Johnson and Kane that night. They went up in the air, and I'm like, so the first question I had for Aunt Pegs after the game was, I said, "Do those 2 kids play basketball?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "Yeah, definitely." I'm like, well, the basketball team's sitting there waiting for him, but this is another controversy. And Aunt looked at me and he goes, "Believe me, these kids would rather be on this football field right now." So that's another myth I want to dispel. The kids that are in football right now, and people like crying about, winter sports are suffering. There's only 12 teams right now that are suffering. And EPLER, you can tell me this right now. Basketball really doesn't start yet. They're just tip-offs.
January, where basketball starts.
Right now, it's just tournaments and playtime.
If I'm a coach, I would want them there too. I would want them the quicker I can get them on the field, the quicker I can mesh, tweak the lineups, figure out this guy can play 30 minutes, this guy can play 20. I get it, but the heart of the division schedule doesn't kick in until January. You're playing maybe 2 tip-off tournaments if you want. One last week. Some are playing this week. Some playing holiday tournaments. So I get it. It's six, 7 games before the new year. But in the grand scheme, when everybody's using power ratings now to seed your playoffs, qualifiers, and playoffs, a couple of losses in the beginning of the season don't mean much, and that's one of the reasons why I don't truly like power ratings in football. Because teams with good schedules are 5-5 are going to the playoffs in the Mid-Penn Commonwealth. But if sometimes you go 7-3 in a smaller division alignment, and you're nowhere near the playoffs because of that plus money, if you will, playing 6A, 5A, 4, or whatever. That hurts smaller schools in the power. It just does. So I'm not a huge fan of it. I get why they do it, because getting coaches in a room and arguing it would take 4 weeks. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a huge fan.
Yeah. For Southern Columbia, I think the key for Southern Columbia is going to be ball control.
Yeah.
They're going to have to not strike fast, because if they get in a scoring fest with Farrell, I think they're in trouble, because Farrell can hit from so many sides.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need to keep the ball out of Farrell's hands and out of Peggy and Johnson's hands. And the other thing I think they need to watch out for is they need to not turn the ball over. They cannot turn the ball over. If you get 2 scores down to Farrell, you're in trouble.
And the wing T offense isn't designed. It's great. It's a great offense when you're even with a team, ahead of a team. It's not designed for come from behind situations.
And that's the difference between this Southern Columbia and the last time we saw Southern Columbia at the state championship. The last Southern Columbia team was throwing the ball around.
Yeah.
This team,
They'll throw a little bit.
according
when
to
they
Matt,
have to.
they're running the wing T like he hasn't seen it done.
Yeah, it's tough to keep up with, especially, and they will be wearing their black unis again because they're the home team. At the Troy game, I could barely keep the camera on them. Like it was so smooth, and Hockenbrock, he plays the same fake every single time, and so when he does decide to keep the ball, and we saw this last week against LC, 2 touchdowns when he decided to keep the ball. So, look, and we talked about this earlier. Other than the 3 years, maybe sophomore, junior, senior year that Southern had the dominating team, most recently, Southern goes into the game being out-athleted. The other team they play is always more athletic, but that's not their MO, right? Southern's MO is to stick with that wing T, grind out those yards, and play really tough defense. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out on Friday.
I think for Farrell, the keys for Farrell is get up early and go, and jump, and force the turnover. Make the stop, get up 2 scores. I think if Farrell can get up 2 scores early, that's big for them, because then Southern has to play from behind. Now, I'm not saying Jim Ross can't do it, but I'm just saying for a Farrell team, if you're going to get behind on them, you're in trouble already, because they can play defense too. And I'm excited for this one, man.
Yeah, it should be good. It should be really good.
It's another one. I think they're both going to have big crowds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I do. So that's a good
Absolutely.
one. 5A.
Rematch.
This was almost Peters Township against Roman Catholic.
It almost was. Came down on Aiden Grown field goal.
What happened last year at the end of Bishop McDevitt's season?
An Aiden Grella field goal in overtime. 34-31 final. I call it the ugliest, most beautiful field goal in Bishop McDevitt history.
Yeah. And how did it? What?
Went over the crossbar.
Yeah. What was it? Do you remember Aiden Grella's first field goal attempt to win a game?
It was a long one. It would have been the longest in PLA championship history.
Yeah.
Right. 50.
And then if you go back, let's go back to their regular season last year, all the way back to the Harrisburg game. His first attempt at winning a game didn't happen. He missed that field goal. And Harrisburg ended up winning that game.
It's actually writing a story on that very same trajectory as we speak.
I should write for you guys. He stole my story. You were listening.
We don't have a
I know you don't. That's. I don't want to work for PENNLIVE anyway.
No, but it's been.
But I do. I enjoy working with PENNLIVE. But like his story is crazy. I mean, like starts off missing a huge field goal, could have beat Harrisburg. Matt and I were there for that one.
Yeah.
And then, boy, that place was packed too last year. Oh my gosh. Then he wins it, in overtime. And then this year he wins it again. And the first thing Wechter said to me after that game on Saturday was, I hope he has one more in him because we might need it. You know?
Nobody wants kickers around until you need them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kickers are people too, man.
Yeah, they are people.
Yeah, Bishop McDevitt, we mentioned earlier, started off a little rocky. They had to do a little bit of rebuilding because they lost this guy that, threw it for 1,000,000 yards. And they put it together, and they just started steamrolling people. And I think a lot of what got them here, Eric, is their defense.
Yeah, defense is really kind of the benchmark program of this. And you mentioned Sebastian Williams earlier, started out. If you're walking into a situation, following Dax, following Stone Saunders, he's an all-time leading passer and touchdown thrower. If you're walking into that situation, you want to walk in at McDevitt because you know you're going to have tremendous athletes around. You know they're going to build and kind of mold this offensive line with a new look a little bit. And you're also going to play competition where when it comes to the postseason, you're going to be ready. I mean, Clarkson North did a number on him in the opener. The team from Toronto came across the border and took them out pretty good at the New York Rose Bowl Classic. And then, of course, you back that up with Harrisburg. They've been perfect ever since, playing their best football at the last 3-4 weeks. The State College win in Week 10, I thought, was the trick. They handled State College pretty good, 36-20 in that game. State College, as you guys know, pretty talented football team.
Yeah.
And McDevitt looked tremendous in that. And that was, I think, when Sebastian Williams really said, you know what, okay, I'm good. I can take care of this. Confidence level went through the roof. And he's been very good. But at the core, McDevitt's a rushing football team. Brazier Jones-Davis has been banged up a little bit here and there. Is back healthy now. He's closing in on 4,000 career rushing yards in 3 seasons for him. I think he's right around 50 touchdowns for his career. They've got Jerome LaRue, a budding, rising underclassman, coming up through the ranks, can run the ball. Maurice Barnes, an FBS product, also doubles as a tremendous linebacker. But you mentioned the defense. That side has been really good, particularly 2 guys up front, 3 guys up front. Chris Thompson down low, Ja'Kai Logan down low. They're both offensive linemen too. They have sort of created this sort of vortex around them where it frees up a very good set of linebackers, maybe the best set of linebackers in the state at any level. So that's been huge for them. It really has been. And they've been able to sort of penetrate the rushing game and then allow Sebastian to sort of not so much stretch the field all the time, but those curls and in routes and rub routes and things like that have been really successful. And here they are again.
And he's got the weapons to throw to. I mean, Jonte Quick, also banged up for a lot of year, and he's back. Yes.
Ish Palmer is not the biggest guy. He's about 5 foot.
Game saver. How about? I mean,
punt returner, dangerous guy. I mean, this.
He had the craziest punt return I've ever seen last week. It was like,
there was no chance of him.
So they're backed up. Peters Township's backed up in their own end zone. They kick the ball away. It goes straight up in the air. Everybody's yelling, Peter, 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 like get away from the ball. So everybody kind of falls asleep. Even the Bishop McDevitt kids were just kind of falling asleep.
It's kind of rise up.
And all of a sudden, Palmer, he just like zoom, scoops the ball, and he's in the end zone like that. And it happened right in front of me, and I was just like that. And
there was no chance he was leaving that ball.
No.
He's looking to make. He's looking to home run.
And he was sneaky about it too.
Yeah.
He just kind of laid back, watched it, and then took off.
Yep.
And their offensive line is banged up off and on. So I think Coach Wechter has probably started a different offensive line maybe 8 times this year. So all those things, but right, conveniently, right around week 10, boom, you knew they weren't going to have much trouble with the district. I mean, obviously, Slanko had a hell of a season, but just not at that level, But then to come back and do what they did against a very good Peters Township team, I was impressed with the Indians. That really was. Never quit, boom, down to the wire, game-winning field goal. So, they're right back where they should be.
Roman Catholic is, last year we talked about their offense and how fast they move. And I don't mean how quick kids can run. I mean how quick they move. They try to get a playoff every 12 seconds. This year they're doing it with perfection. And when you have guys like Instead and, Roberts, Ash Roberts, and then you got Smosh Beals running the offense.
Mm-hmm.
They have that offense. Coach Preet did a great job, and he's got that offense moving.
Yeah, I think for Roman, sometimes you get lost in their record, right? And you're like, oh, 11-3 team, they're gettable, right? Well, let's not forget those 3 losses are against St. Joe's Prep in double overtime, a state champ from North Carolina, Providence Day, and then they lost to DeMatha out of Maryland. So, like, Roman played more of like a national schedule this year. You know, it's not just that PCL schedule. And like you said, you know, Beals going to Akron, a couple of the receivers going to Rutgers, and just an up-tempo, you know, every 12-second type offense. I can't wait to see this rematch because I'm sure Roman's looking, you know, to finally get that chip. And McDevitt's been there. It's their 8th time in the state finals. Like, that doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah, and when you got a kid like Ian Stead out there, and you got Smosh Palmer Smosh Beals running the ball or throwing the ball, he's so dangerous. I mean, you don't know if he's going to run or throw it. Like, he steps back, they snap in the ball. You don't even have time to evaluate what's going on. So for a defense, you got to play solid position defense.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, man to man ain't going to do it in this game. You got to play your position. You got to keep everything in front of you, and that's been almost impossible for every team that Roman has faced.
Yeah.
That is not a 6A or national title contender.
And you can't substitute kids in and out. You know, whatever you got on the field while their offense is, you know, blitzing, you know, with their offense, you got to run the same kids on defense. So
what's going to be interesting to me is last year they ran the same thing all year, but when they got to McDevitt, their offense slowed down. McDevitt slowed them down.
Well, I will say this. I haven't seen Roman in person yet, but I've seen a lot of film on him. And to me, on film even, Samaj Beals looks 3 or 4 times more dangerous than he was last year. And I think just confidence in those guys you mentioned, Stead, Roberts, all these other weapons, they have so much confidence in this guy. He's got better running football, too, so if things break down, he's that much more dangerous. And I mentioned earlier we had Coach Breed on our podcast yesterday, and he couldn't say enough about what this kid has meant to the program and how he's elevated everybody around him. And it just almost feels like this is coming for him, you know? And the offense is clicking. You mentioned it. They're just so much fun to watch. And I will say this, McDevitt's defense, as good as they played, they're worried about this. They have to be absolute discipline. They can't get caught off guard or out of position because he will make you pay.
This is a rematch that I think has the potential to turn into a blowout in a hurry. It does have that potential. If Samaj Beals can get rolling quick, they could get it ugly. I mean, like they've scored 21 points in the first quarter in their last 3 games.
Yeah.
And it was 23-0, not 23-14, 23-6, 23 zip before you blink an eye. You're down by 3 touchdowns. So, McDevitt's going to have to be really disciplined. Coach Preet, I love Coach Preet. He is to Philadelphia what Coach Heaton is to Harrisburg. Preet does a lot of stuff outside, and I always think about Coach Preet. He had a tragedy last year, and when I pray, I say a prayer for Coach Preet as well. I can't imagine coaching, like just going and coaching football after what he went through, but he does it, and I think he does it for God, for the Spirit, and he does a lot of stuff on the outside, not just for his own kids.
Right.
He helps kids from other football programs in the area down in Philadelphia. He helps them out. I have standing right next to him at Penn State, and I heard him say, "You need to check this kid out from," and I didn't catch it, but I've heard him say it literally. And I don't even think it was a Pennsylvania school, to be honest with you. But he's such a good coach and such a good guy, and has such a big heart. And these kids have bought into Coach Preet.
Yep.
They bought into him. And, who could blame him? I mean, look what he's done with them. He's turned them into a football program, to a machine.
Yep, for sure.
I mean, they were this close to beating St. Joe's. That would have been like a feather in their cap.
Look, you beat St. Joe's and LaSalle in the same season. They almost pulled it off. You know, they got the LaSalle win, but lost in double overtime to Prep.
Amazing. Yeah, what a game that's going to be.
Yeah, should be.
Or it could be.
I think it will be. I
think it's going to be a great game. I think they're dreaming of stopping that offense at McDevitt.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
tough.
they are.
It'll be tough.
It's going to be exciting. So that's 5-8. We got a couple more teams.
Yep, 2 more to go.
4 more teams.
Yep.
That's it. So we're going to come back and talk about those 4 teams, the 3A and the 6A games. Right now we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Asphalt sleep.
Right.
We need an extra battery. You got an extra battery.
At PAFootballNews.com, we've got you covered. If you're looking for the best coverage of high school football in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, check out PAFootballNews.com. From schedules to rankings, game coverage to Friday night scoreboard, live streams, and more, PA Football News is the one-stop shop for everything high school football in Pennsylvania. Follow us on Twitter at PA Football News and visit us at PAFootballNews.com. We got you covered.
Circle W Sports is the complete all-in-one platform for high school sports, designed by former athletes, coaches, and athletic directors. Circle W Sports gives school and team personnel an easier solution to run their entire athletic departments with the help of these features. League Manager makes creating master schedules a breeze. Configure your divisions, build schedules, track league all-stars, and much, much more. Referee Manager helps assign and track game officials in the same platform. And with RefPay, your officials can get paid within hours instead of days or weeks. Enjoy live scoring and statistical services through our Performance Tracker and Stat Tracker apps. Learn how to track your workout or camp and combine statistics in real time. Then create any type of report after your results are tallied. The Stat Tracker app helps keep your fans involved, whether they are in the stands or at home, with live in-game stats. For more information, visit CircleWSports.com, the official online platforms of PA Football News and the PSFCA Big 33.
CoachComm is the proven and trusted leader in coaching communications. For over 30 years, we've built our business on innovation and winning, with the goal to equip your team with the best coaching communication available. 97% of all FBS programs and thousands of high schools and colleges across the U.S. choose CoachComm because CoachComm has the experience and the know-how to provide the very best in technology and winning solutions.
Okay, we're back to Arooga's here on the Pike in Mechanicsburg. We got Eric EPLER from PENNLIVE here with us, traveling Matt, Ed from Circle W Sports. I'm Billy Swain, the owner of PA Football News. We're talking championship football. We got Lindsay sitting out there smiling and watching us, and we got hopefully 1 million people watching us online, probably a couple thousand yet. But that's all right. I'm good with that. We talked about 2 and 4. We talked about 1 and 5. Let's talk 3 and 6. Let's talk about Avonworth.
Elopes.
Love the antelopes.
Yeah. So, matchup of 2 undefeated teams, the only undefeated matchup that we'll see this week in the PA State Finals. And I think for Avonworth, you know, it all runs through Luca Neal, which wasn't the case earlier in the season. You know, he wasn't toting the rock every week for him. They were kind of using him in a few different roles. But he, you know, just like coming into last season, state finals, he's the guy. And he's catching the ball too. You know, we're showing you some highlights of him catching a swing pass. Just watching their highlights from the last few weeks, he catches the ball quite a bit out of the backfield. I think he's got almost 50 receptions on the season. So Bellinger at quarterback, very good for them. It's an interesting matchup. You know, both of these teams have had this date circled, and they know who they were going to see when they got there.
And their main guy was out last week against Penn Cambria. He didn't play.
Yeah.
And so that's a key to see if he can come back this week. I don't know if he's healthy or not. I didn't notice anything on the sideline. And, So we'll see if their running back is healthy when to come back. But yeah, Luca Neal. I mean, I saw him against Pan Cambria last week. Plowed a kid over at the end zone like a rhinoceros. I mean, just like took the ball, took a dancing hop, hit the ground, and this kid was in his way. Could have went that way and got in the end zone. He could have literally just went like that. But instead, he saw a helmet, and he went for it. And he just plowed right over the guy. That was the first thing that came to my head. Like, he could have just went like that. Got in the end zone and not hit anybody, but he wanted to hit somebody. This kid is a rhinoceros that can run. That's what he looks like. And he's not a big kid either. He's not a big kid. But defensively, Avonworth is a very good football team. They play great defense. They're good at getting turnovers. They're good at forcing interceptions. And that's actually what they did to Penn Cambria last week. They forced a couple picks. And it was the Luca Neal show, though.
Yeah. I mean, Neal's been tremendous too. It's a shame because I'm a Coal Region guy, but they're not a huge fan of mine. At Northwestern Lehigh, because obviously defending state champs. And right around week 7, after Avonworth pulled up that unbelievable double up, knocking down Aliquippa, not just knocking down, blowing out Aliquippa.
They blew him out.
And then they blew out Thomas Jefferson on the back end. So that caused the shift to move Avonworth up to number 1. It wasn't anything the Tigers did wrong, but I just felt like that was the time to do it because I can't recall a team throttling those two teams back to back ever. So I thought that was sort of the right spot to do.
No,
but,
those are the two teams in 4A, Thomas Jefferson and Aliquippa, that nobody could beat.
Yeah, I mean, they're Whitfield strongholds. Let's face it. Aliquippa damn near is in Cumberland Valley, coming all the way back into Twin Valley, just falling that much short. So that just tells you how powerful this Avonworth team is. That being said, Northwestern Lehigh is right there as far as physicality, as far as game breakers. We always see a guy like Stecker's been unbelievable for them. So this to me has the potential, and I'm shocked that I'm actually saying this, but this to me has the potential to be the most physical football game of the week.
I think so.
I believe that. I believe.
You got Shane Humes
and
out
it's
there
tough to
pounding
say.
people.
It's tough to say that when in a few minutes we're going to talk about this massive Pittsburgh Central Catholic line and the massive FBS just plethora of big time college recruits at LaSalle. But this game to me is the most fascinating. We know what happened last year, 36-33 final in this one. Overtime, unbelievable football game. I expect this one to play out very similar.
One of my favorite lines is we had Northwestern Lehigh on the show. Matt was on the show with us. And one of my favorite lines was Shane Holmes said that was, or it might have been the quarterback. One of them said that was the first time all season long they were scared of losing.
Yeah.
During that overtime. Yeah. And they said Zimmerman just walked in and said, I'm taking the ball and we're going to score and we're going to get it. They said, he just said, I'm going to go into the end zone and we're going to win this game. Don't worry about it. And he said, we knew right there, that's the first time we felt like we were going to win that game. And in the end zone he went, and the rest is history. They were interviewed on the field for like the next 12 hours. I think,
Yeah.
Amazing. And let's just talk about like their football team. We have to mention the incredible streak last year for Northwestern Lehigh. And 62-0 for their soccer teams and their football team. And here they are again. Of course, they got the one loss to a crosstown team, but still.
Yep. Northwestern Lehigh has won 31 games in a row. Their football team. The last loss was against Bell Vernon in the state finals 3 years ago.
Yep.
So
that's it.
There's no question. Josh Snyder has built a monster.
Yeah.
And, what great community support in New Tripoli as well. They
Where's
travel.
The best pizza?
Don Corleone's #1 in the state for me.
We'll be talking to Don Corleone later on.
But yeah, like Shane Lay's running that offense the same way he's been running it. 2,500 yards, 33 touchdowns against 2 interceptions. And, of course, Brady Zimmerman there and a handful of guys that can get it done. It's not just 1 or 2 kids. It's like 5 or 6. And I think that's the strength of this Northwestern Lehigh team, that Josh Snyder's got them rolling. is they don't have to rely on just one or two kids. There's a lot of kids that can do some damage. And like you said, there's going to be some hitting going on in this.
It should be physical. I mean, even though that game you would think, it was a shootout, 36-33. Last year, you would think, it's a shootout, it's a wide open game. There was some really physical play.
I don't know
I was
if you-
on the sidelines for that game, and I'm like,
if
wow.
you didn't watch the Whitfield semifinals, at Acrisure, there were some actual hammers being thrown by Avonworth. I mean, there were a couple of hits that made me flinch in my living room watching it on TV. I was like,
And
oh.
you're always looking for motivators too, right? This is Avonworth's third trip to the finals.
That's right.
They haven't won one yet.
Buffalo Bills.
They lost last year to Northwestern Lehigh. They got thumped in 2A by Southern Columbia a bunch of years back. So motivators for a program, they definitely want that first chip.
Gonna be tough to get though.
Yeah.
It will be tough.
It'll be well earned.
Nothing's coming easy
You know?
in that
No.
football game. Nothing.
No.
And again, this is going to be Northwestern Lehigh. It's going to have a crowd.
I hope so.
Coming
I hope they
hungry.
bring the whole
I
kit and
think-
caboodle.
I hope everybody comes.
Bring the whole
If
coal
not,
region. Just
if you
shut down
can't
the coal
watch,
region. Bring them down.
You can watch it on NFHS. You just go to our website, click on the NFHS, and it'll take you right to their link. You can sign up and watch all 6 games for $10. 6 football games for $10, sitting in your living room.
Great bargain.
Championship game. You can't go wrong with that. We'll have a link up after the show here with a link to each and every game where you can just join up and watch those games. Going to be a great game. Duke Johncore, he's been coaching forever. He's a legend out that way, and he's going to have his team ready.
He will.
This, on paper, this and the Clinton game, I believe are the Whitfield's 2 best chances to get a championship this year.
Yeah, let's not forget. Last year, the Whitfield didn't win a title for the first time in 31 years.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, and I think this.
So they got
might be
3
one of the
cracks at it
best
this year.
chances They have.
Yep.
Yep.
I do. So, that being said, who's the other chance?
That would be Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
Massive line. They're playing LaSalle. Dude, I couldn't get over. It wasn't the line that impressed me the most. Chris Black. That kid is like a 5'6", 175-pound wrecking ball on speed.
Yeah, and I know he's been off and on injured. Back 1 week, lose the next. Just kind of that young kid, only sophomore. He's already got an FSU, Florida State offer, a couple other ones too. But you can't not see this offensive line. Like, you try to look away. Like, even if you looked at the concession stand, they're in your periphery. You can just see the mountain. Nobody. And listen, for whatever deficiencies Harrisburg had, nobody ran the football that consistently against Harrisburg.
No.
You just didn't do it. You might get them on a drive, maybe here and there, but to drive the football. And keep in mind, it's 37 carries for Chris Black, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns. But he ran a couple of his TD runs were like, it was like Cirque du Soleil action.
Yeah, they were
you know what I mean? He spun out of a couple.
I'm gonna pull that one up. I'm gonna pull that one up right now.
And so that constant pounding and pounding and pounding from that offensive line at 6-7 yard intervals was just ultimately what cost the Cougars. It really was. And
Watch this run. Everybody watch this run.
Yeah, there you
watch
go.
this. Zip, zip,
I mean, it's
zip, zing,
yeah.
zip,
I mean,
and
that's
into
like
the end zone.
that's like
I mean,
what's that one? Oh, where you're dropping into the water doing 10 flips. I mean, it's incredible to try to stop that. And Harrisburg's got tremendous linebackers too to fill that hole, and it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. I mean, you never got a sense that Pittsburgh CC was in trouble in this one. Their tempo is a problem.
Yeah.
It has been all year to kind of keep pace with that. And so, if there's one team obviously that can curtail this, you would think it would be LaSalle College, because obviously they're used to playing the style, or this at least against kind of big offensive linemen, and kind of their offense too has been tremendous. With Gavin Sidwar, the Missouri commit, shooting out to Joey O'Brien, who's the Notre Dame commit. There's a lot of other commits on that squad, and they played a tremendous schedule and sort of slayed the beast in St. Joe's Prep a couple times this year.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, that line. So think about your hometown high school team, right? And here's what you would be up against if you were playing against PCC. You got Callis, 6'7", 285, Sasek, 6'6", 285, Bowers, 6'4", 285. He's going to Princeton, by the way. Thayer, 6 foot, little guy, right? 6 foot, 295. And then Halder's 6'5", 270. And by the way, he's going to Notre Dame. And the crazy part about that, 3 of those kids are juniors. Wow. And then you got Chris Black, who's a sophomore. And oh, by the way, I saw PCC play LaSalle in the first game this year. LaSalle got him 23-6 and pretty much handled him, especially on the line. But Owen Herrick at quarterback for PCC is only a sophomore, and I think it took a little bit for him to get rolling. They still have Roman Thompson in the backfield, who's been, carrying the rock quite a bit for them. So when you talk about, big time 6A football, this is it. These kids are monsters.
Yeah, I don't mention Roman Thompson offensively because I love watching him play defense. Colsey Gatton the same way. He plays tight end. I don't care. Put him on defense because he's so much fun to watch. Yeah. And obviously you're sitting there, FBS recruit, Duke recruit on the other side. Yeah. And there's so many other integral parts about this PCC offense, our team that you have to respect. Mm-hmm. And obviously from last year to a couple of years, they're determined to kind of jump this hurdle. They are. But it is a giant.
It's a massive hurdle.
It's a massive hurdle. It really is. It really is. Yep.
It's been a while. What is it, 2015, I think, the last time PCC got a state title?
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Against Parkland,
Coach Totten was there. That's when Coach Totten first took over the team.
Yep.
He took over the team, and that year he won.
And then LaSalle on the other side. Like that
2004. What year did they win it? 2000.
They won it the first year that the PCL was in.
Yeah.
2009.
2009.
And a great story there. Who is the head coach? It's Drew Gordon, who's the father of current head coach Brett Gordon. So tell me that guy. Yep. Tell me Brett Gordon doesn't lay his head down every night and think about winning one for his
And
dad.
if I don't do this every show, I have to. But there's a kid that plays for LaSalle whose father played for the Berwick Bulldogs.
Oh, you're bringing it all the way back to Berwick.
All the way back to Berwick.
Everybody take a drink.
I have to do it every
Off
show.
the rails.
Yep. Brian Hollywood Tusinski absolutely demands it. But, so that's a pretty crazy connection. I know. But it's a weak connection because he's just a good football player.
But like you mentioned, Sidwar going to Missouri, John Patrick Oates going to JMU, McKeo on the line going to Notre Dame, of course Joey O'Brien going to Notre Dame. And the kid that's, sometimes you see these teams and you think they're dominant because they throw the ball everywhere.
Right.
Azir Nelson is the key to that whole offense.
Yep.
And a guy like a little guy, 5'7", 150-pound Jimmy Mahoney, on special teams. He's kind of like the Julian Edelman for LaSalle. So both sides just super loaded, and that's the way it should be in 6A.
I mean, the skill that they have, and with Sidwar throwing the ball, he's so dangerous. Let's take a look at Sidwar throwing the ball here, and so quick. And some of the Mahoney, he's a new guy. Like in the last couple of weeks, he's come out of nowhere, and suddenly he's playing good football and catching touchdown passes from Sidwar. I mean, look how quick his release is. His release is so fast, and before you know it, the ball's in the air, and it's on its way to the end zone because the receiver caught it, whether it be Joey O'Brien or anybody. But this is another team that's also dangerous on special teams. They can run it back. Yeah. They have the guys that can run it back. And
Mahoney got dinged up a little bit in the St. Joe's prep game, in the playoff game. But hopefully he's back today. I know he played last week against North Penn, but I've seen him. I saw LaSalle play 4 times this year. Scored a touchdown in every game. And against 4 quality opponents. I saw him play Malvern Prep, PCC, and St. Joe's Prep twice. And that kid's dynamic. He's a fun kid to watch. And he's like the 20th best player on the team,
Jeez.
And that's saying something. 20's pretty good on that roster.
20 would be fantastic. Absolutely. Yeah.
For LaSalle, they got over the hump. They beat St. Joe's Prep. They dethroned them. Twice they beat them this year.
Twice, yeah.
So they can actually say they beat them 3 out of the last 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And what a program! But I feel like this is it. This is the year for LaSalle. They got to win it this year.
Yeah.
They're a senior-heavy team. A lot of these guys are moving on to college. They signed letters today. So Saturday's the day they need to get it done.
Yeah.
And, for Pittsburgh Central Catholic, we don't know. Maybe, they got a week or two left or a year or two left in them. But, they're going to be playing.
Something tells me PCC will keep finding guys and keep showing up. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, but LaSalle will too. But this is a team that they put together a couple of years ago. And, well, I wouldn't say put together. I would say this is a team that's been coming up through their system. And they're a dangerous football team. This is going to be a heck of a football game.
Yeah,
I think it is.
It should.
I think it is. I don't think it's going to be anything like that first week.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think either team runs away.
Yep.
From the other. I mean, if you would,
you got to remember, like Central Catholic at the beginning of the year, they were bringing in a quarterback. They didn't know who was going to be running back. They didn't know, they were bringing in a line that never played. This is a new line for them. And it's a young line. It's not,
and not that it sounds like capable of just disrupting this rhythm, but the rhythm that PCC runs their offense, it's terribly difficult.
It's insane.
I mean, it's terribly difficult. I watched Harrisburg try, and nothing could really prevent, those 6-7 yards by Chris Black. And next thing you know, the 7-0 lead turned into 4, and that's just it never felt, even 7-0 in a 7-0 game in the first quarter, it never felt like Harrisburg was going to find that answer.
No.
And they never did.
Yeah.
And Harrisburg's a talented football team. A worthy District 3 champ. The 13-0.
Yeah, Mickens got his
historic
yards.
Program, historic year for those guys.
Yeah, Mickens got his yards. He got his
they went.
touchdowns,
It's 5 straight times. They've been in the state semifinals. We know, teams in the mid-pendants don't do that. So, hats off to Harrisburg, but man, they just ran into a buzzsaw.
Yeah,
absolutely did. So we'll see. But
LaSalle
is gifted.
I gave the buzzsaw a name, and I called him Chris Black Jr. He was just phenomenal. He was phenomenal.
He was.
But
terrific.
Herrick's a good quarterback too.
He didn't have to
He's
show
a
it
good
really.
general, but he didn't even have to do anything.
He threw a couple. I think he threw, 4, 6 passes, something like that. He was 3 for 6. Harrisburg had chances against the defense. That's the one scary thing. Harrisburg had chances, but either Michael Shank was either on the run or he just couldn't get his footing right to deliver the strikes. But Elias Koch, who's a Rutgers commit, for Harrisburg, was open on a couple of plays. They had a couple inside routes.
They just never had time
to connect. So there were opportunities to throw the ball against BCC.
Yeah.
And now you've got a guy like Gavin Sidwar throwing these
Joey
guys.
O'Brien.
I don't know if it's legal to put 6 guys on Joey O'Brien, but you might want to try that. Because I don't know. Everything I've seen throw to him, he catches, no matter where it is on the field. So you've got to somehow try to slow that guy down.
What a big weekend.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It really should.
What a
be.
huge weekend.
Cold but fun.
On paper, this looks like a phenomenal weekend on paper.
Yep.
It does. A lot of storylines.
Yep.
A lot of storylines. But we're just excited. If you cannot watch the game, though, live, if you can't get here, and I'll have Eric Kepler come pick you up if you need a ride.
I'm good for it.
Yeah.
He's
you need a ride. I want you to come to these football games because there's nothing like experiencing a championship football game in person. But if you can't, NFHS is your answer. We've got your hookup on PA Football News. They're all over the website. Just click on one of them. It'll get you to where you can watch these games. Want to thank Penn Live for sending Eric Epler down here. Got to thank Arooga. Got to thank Arooga's for letting us sit here and talk about football. I want to thank each and every high school football player that allowed any of us to watch their football game this year. Thank you. And congratulations to every team that didn't make it here because you played your hearts out. We know you did. We were there. PA Football News, I got to thank all my staff. Just a phenomenal staff. Phenomenal. Over 1,500 games. Incredible. Just incredible. And, I want to thank guys like Eric Epler and all the other media members out there that we get to hang out with. We're becoming a dying breed.
We're getting older.
The herd is
Yeah.
thinning.
Yeah.
The herd is thinning. I mean, you're starting to see guys drop out and nobody's taking their place.
I know.
So,
I know.
what a great season. And thank you guys for coming on the show today.
Thank
Thanks, Ed.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. Come on down to Cumberland Valley this weekend. Pick a game, pick 2 games, and come and watch the game.
Come to Arooga's between games.
And come to Arooga's. Get some food. I
Yeah.
think I might hit here on Saturday afternoon. Might hit this place up Saturday afternoon. Good pizza, great wings.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, dollar wing night.
There you go.
Can't go wrong with that. This is the state of PA football. We're coming to you from Cumberland Valley. Stick around for coverage on Penn Live and on PA Football News for all of the games. We'll see you somewhere on the sideline this weekend.
Good stuff, buddy.
At PAFootballNews.com, we've got you covered. If you're looking for the best coverage of high school football in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, check out PAFootballNews.com. From schedules to rankings, game coverage to Friday night scoreboard, live streams, and more, PA Football News is the one-stop shop for everything high school football in Pennsylvania. Follow us on Twitter at PA Football News and visit us at PAFootballNews.com. We got you covered.